Well,
you know?
and I think a lot of it that you brought out, you know, turning the tables on me per se, but if you bring it out, the novice person many times doesn't have a lot of funding, but has to learn very quickly that that's why they need to count more than ever on that Hispanic media machine, like yourself. If they call for El Defensor, for example, a lot of people don't understand that not only do you have the print media, but you also have tens of thousands of people that read your blog, and then when you post on Facebook, you reach potentially hundreds of thousands of people when people click share. Say if you post one of, so I liked what you do. If you have, for example, a candidate who's never been introduced to the public, and your model, putting it in print, putting it on the blog, and then posting it on Facebook, well, you've reached hundreds of thousands of people, and for a very reasonable price, somebody retains your services. And I'm seeing people now, I know that before, and including me in my show, people would come and say, well, just put me on, you know, and they'd say, well, you know, ladies and gentlemen out there, if you're thinking of running for office, TV costs time, $500 an hour minimum. And buying advertising costs thousands of dollars. And investing with the Lopez family and buying remotes costs tens of thousands of dollars. If you go with regular mainstream media, you're going to be paying $50,000, $100,000 to run. If you go with Hispanic media, you get deeply discounted rates. I mean, this is, but people take advantage of that. And I think the comment before we take the break is that I think the machine that came crumbling down for 30 years, the Salomonista machine, I think that a lot of people were critical, and my experience was the same. They did not invest in their own media machines. They didn't invest in their own people, and you have people like Abel Alonso, other politiqueros saying they took us for granted. They took us for granted, and a lot of people will criticize me for that. Many others who have invested in your blogs, in your newspaper, who invest in Hispanic media machines win. Yeah, and we're going to take a brief break. I'm sorry, you had a quick point. And we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and really talk about the history of El Defensor and your media machine that you're maintaining and building.
Brilliant.
Well, I mean, do you want to take a break now?
Well,
it's your world.
Well, on Ortiz, real quick, I think Ortiz started as a young man, a charismatic young man.
Very accomplished.
Came back from the military, an MP. Came from a low-income barrio in Robstown, the black community, Cantarranas, ran for office. The Hispanic community was ready for change back then. They needed a voice. Many people that hadn't participated. He mobilized the base. What was unique about Salomón Ortiz that is different from other políticos is he was an extremely charismatic young man as a young man.
Tremendously great man, a great man.
I mean, you felt the magnetism. When he walked in a room, people felt alive. They felt the reason. I heard a lady say, I have a reason to be alive.
He still has it. He still has it.
He had that impact, but one thing wrong, I think, with charismatic leaders in general, and this is not about just Ortiz and everybody else, is as they establish an organization, it seems to center around them because of the charisma. And in politics, that as you grow older and you start slowing down, you have to rely on a structure. And what happened with Salomón is when he went to Washington, he left a vacuum in Robstown. He left a vacuum in Nueces County. That daily interaction and close-knit interaction that you need to keep an organization alive and a network alive lost its effectiveness. The old politiqueras began to die. So you needed to recruit new people, to involve new people. And Salomón Ortiz, remember, is not your typical politico. You're talking about a charismatic individual that ran for office, that was in office quite a bit of time. When he moved to Washington, when he started, that created a distance. And I think the distance was really what He should have had people nurturing his organization. He should have found new ways to keep it alive. And we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to take a break, but he did for 30 years. And I mean, for the record, a tremendous amount of respect for him. But it's an example of the underuse of the Hispanic media machines that can be costly and cost a whole regime, a whole
but his history is one that is very impressive. But
very impressive.
Times change, the way of dealing with things change, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to take a break right now. You're listening to Homero Villarreal. You're watching him right here on South Texas Politics. We want to take a break right now, and on your screen appearing River City Hospice, I wanted to take a minute to say, look, hospice is not what you think it is. Most people think that hospice is about cancer and giving up and letting somebody die at home. That's not what it is. Hospice helps people that have end-stage renal disease that are on dialysis. Hospice helps people that have lung problems, heart problems. If you have someone at home not eating and they have unexplained weight loss, all of those things can call for hospice. If you want to know more about hospice and benefits that a lot of people so underuse, they don't use it, you need to call 882-5900, 882-5900 for all the information you want to know about hospice, or visit rivercityhospice.com. But you need to call them up. They are the one information center for hospice here that I highly recommend, and that's River City Hospice, and that's 882-5900. We're going to take a break, but we thank our sponsor also, Vasquez Flores Home Health, 881-9922. Priscilla Vasquez, RN, over 20 years of experience helping people stay out of the nursing home and stay in their house with quality providers, 881-9922. Thank you very much to our sponsors. We'll be right back.
I think it's a betrayal of public trust. That is just not ethical.
I left the Democratic Party because of her.
The reason is because you're taking Republican money.
The money of those people that pay me as a consultant. What are you taking? What are you taking Crosstown? Took money. I saw it and I saw them pay your checks.
Okay, hold on. Everybody.
Hola, soy Joe Flores, abogado, recordándole que es muy importante que salga a votar. Este año en Texas se han cortado programas importantes. Esto es a causa de las decisiones de los registradores republicanos que le han dado más importancia a ganancias que a personas. Le han dado más importancia a corporaciones y compañías de seguro. Este año electoral, regístrese para votar el Partido de la Gente. Personas, trabajadores, maestros, enfermeros y familias. Vote demócrata.